Welcome to this week's Everton Show. You're watching on YouTube, and as always, please feel free to leave your comments below. Well, 2 weeks ago we filmed on the banks of the Adriatic Sea in Croatia. Last week we were at Finch Farm. This week we're in the home dressing room at Goodison Park, a place frequented many times by Ian Snowden and Graham Sharp. Sharpie, welcome to the Everton Show. Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday, Premier League, another tough one. Yeah, it is a tough one. You know, they've got a quality team down, they've got quality players throughout. Obviously, Keane and Ali get all the plaudits, but it's more than just those two. So it'll be a tough game for us, but with our home record, we've started the season pretty well, so it should be a good game. Tottenham Hotspur have been there or thereabouts nods for the last couple of seasons, but it'll be tough this season because basically every other week they're playing at a neutral venue. There's no home advantage at Wembley yet. No, they struggled in Europe when they played at Wembley, so yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think away from home, when they've been to Goodison, especially as the last two seasons, they played really, really well. The Manchester City game was a good performance, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was always going to be tough as well. They're an excellent team, and I thought we did ever so well to come away from there with a point, Daz. How important was it, Sharpie, for the whole season and for the football club to reach that group stage of the Europa League? I think it was massive for the football club. I think we've been crying out over the past few years to get into European competition. I think it's something we need to do now on a regular basis to build our stock up as a club in European football. Obviously, the aim is the Champions League eventually, but I think a good run in the Europa League is something that we needed to do, or get into the group stages at least, and go as far as we possibly can. But that, not just this year, for the next 3, 4, 5 years to make ourselves established as a European club. You were in Split with us, Nods. It was some place, wasn't it? Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful. You did well out of it. Got a nice little tan as well, Daz. But it's a holiday for you too, yeah. But it was a great performance, and yeah, we qualified for the group stages. You were here at Goodison Park last Sunday for the Bradley Lowery game, Snods. What a terrific occasion that was. Absolutely fantastic. Great to be part of it, and what a turnout, because the weather weren't great. It was raining that day. To get nearly 13,500 was absolutely fantastic, but I just struggled a little bit when the boys came into the dressing room, because there's a lot of reality showman there, and I don't watch it, and I'm thinking, who are they? And it weren't until they put the shirts on that I thought, oh, I know what he's on. I think you'd have struggled as well, Sharp, because you don't watch reality. No, I don't, certainly not. But no, a great occasion, great turnout, as you said, for the fans, and I think everybody enjoyed themselves. That's the most important thing. Nice to see Peter Reid out there in a blue shirt again, wasn't it? He looks fitter now than he did when he played. He looks a lot leaner. But no, good to see some of the old players out there as well. Some didn't cover themselves in glory. Our ambassador. I wanted you to say that. I wanted you to say that. 16 minutes he lasted, Sharp. He touched the ball twice, and I just did him a favour. I just went, off he comes, son. Some of these celebrities can play. Others can't, but they all give their time freely. But some decent goals, wasn't there? Yeah, there were some decent goals. There were some good performances. There really was. More in a red and white shirt than in a blue shirt, to be honest. So we were a little bit disappointed as a management team that we got beat. It was a wonderful afternoon, played in entirely the right spirit despite the weather. The crowd got involved as well, but a little bit soured at the end, Sharpie, with this fella's behaviour. Well, I couldn't believe it myself when I saw it. I think it was a disgrace, you know, so for a charity game to get involved as much as they did. I know the guys take it really, really serious, but I think, you know, the manager has to be reprimanded, and reprimanded severely. Can we just say to camera that was staged, by the way, because I had a little conflab with Mark Halsey, who's a great fella, loves Everton Football Club as well, and I just said, Mark, it'll be good if Roger Dilts, another former referee of the Football League, I had an argument, he brings you over, you give me the red card and I go, but apparently the lads were saying in the dressing room, I should be an actor because it looked fantastic. Some of your team said it should have happened a lot earlier. To be honest, it should. What a bizarre sight to see Katie Price managing a team, ably assisted by Roy Evans. I know, in an Everton tracksuit as well. Don't come any better. Okay, it's time for this week's My Firsts. Joining us is Michael Keane.
My first car was a Peugeot 206. It was black. It was my older brother's first of all, and when I passed, he upgraded, so I took that off him. A lot of the time I was with Will, my brother, but if not, then I was quite often with Ravel Morrison. Tried to tame him. He's obviously more messing about, and I was seen as a sensible one, so I always got put with him. And it worked well, I got on well with him. First memory is just playing on the local field with about 20 of us who used to live in the same area, used to go and play until about 10 o'clock at night in the summer till it went dark. We just used to put jumpers down as the nets and just play games for hours on end, go back for dinner and then go back and play again, and I can just remember doing that when I was younger. I remember getting a CD, putting it in my Sony Walkman, just J-Quan, Tipsy. I think Nathaniel Chalobah when I was on loan at Leicester and he was at Watford. He's my friend from when I played at England, and he scored an unbelievable goal against us, about 30 yards out, barring in, and yeah, after that game. For Leicester against Huddersfield in the FA Cup. I remember at King Power Stadium, equaliser, and took us to a replay. I remember getting 1 or 2 from Sean Dyche a few seasons ago in the Premier League for letting my man score from a corner. That wasn't good, wasn't nice, no.
Sharpie, people have spoken really well about Michael Keane since he came to Everton, and quite right too.
Yeah, I think he started his Everton career well, Dan. You know, he's played in a back four and he's played in a 3 as well, and he looks comfortable in both setups. Listen, it's always difficult coming from, and no disrespect to Burnley, but always difficult coming to a new club and settling in quickly. But I think the majority of the signings have done that. You know, obviously Michael's in a position where it's really, really important to strike up an understanding, not only with your goalkeeper but your fellow defenders as well. And I think he's adapted well to the early stages of his career.
Sharpie, do you think he looks captain material in the future?
That's an interesting one, Snoz. Probably, yeah. You know, he's only a young boy at the moment, so you know, with the experience he'll get over the coming seasons, it may well be the possibility that's happening. Obviously, there's players probably a little bit more experienced than him in the team at this moment in time, but I don't see any reason why not. You know, and I think in the international scene as well, it was unfortunate not to play last week, but I'm sure he's got many England caps ahead of him as well.
One player who did get some international action last week was Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and he scored again. Scored for the 21s.
He's done remarkably well, Dan, and you know, I think it's a trait of the British public to put too much pressure on young players. I think already I've heard people saying, "Oh, he can't do this and he can't do that, and he's not doing this, or he's not good at this." I think you've got to look at Dominic and think, "Wow, what a step up he's made. He's come from Sheffield United to a big club. The pressure on him, I think he probably surprised the fact that he's got in so early as he has done. But when he's come on, he's led the line really, really well. Reminds me a little bit of myself when I first came down as well, when you just think you come to a bigger club and you find it hard to adapt. But he's been asked to play now in a position, you know, in the Premier League. You know, it's a massive jump up from where he was at Sheffield United, and I think he's adapted really, really well. There'll be times in the season where he'll have a little dip in form, and we've got to realise that. You know, he's not going to play at 100% every single game, but I think he's got a big future ahead of him, and it's great to see him scoring goals.
Yeah, if there were one piece of advice coming from a top centre-forward like you were, what would it be to him?
Oh, it's a difficult one, Snoz. I think if I look at him, I think he's got a fantastic leap. You know, I think he's got a great leap in him.
He's got more pace than you've ever had.
That wouldn't have been hard.
Yeah.
It would not have been hard, so I'll give you that one. Probably his hold-up play more than anything else, but that will come, you know, as he develops as a lad himself. You know, when he bulks up, that will come. But certainly his movement's decent, and as I said, aerially he's good. He's quick. I just think at times maybe hold-up play, when you're asked to play that position up front on your own, it's important that somebody can get a hold of it and then let the midfield players come in and join in. But no, up to now he's done really well.
It's a lonely role. It's a tough role, isn't it?
It's the hardest job in football, Dan. And I remember I played it a couple of times under Howard Kendall, once away at Bayern Munich, and it's a thankless task. You know, you've got to get hold of it, you've got to show on channels, you've got to go on the end of things. So it's a really, really tough job up there on your own. And I think the boys come in, improved a few doubters wrong, but what I would say to him is, give the boy time. Give the boy time. I think he'll get there.
See, midfield players, Daz, as well, are depending on the striker, to get hold of it. So they know when to run off you, when to go, when not to go. So it is, as Sharp said, an important role up front on your own.
Well, I've got you here, lads, back in the dressing room. These shirts must take you back.
Yeah, they do. This is nearest I've been to Sharpie since 1987. Sharpie. He wore the 9, I wore the 10.
That was the closest. I tell you, you never got past me once.
You what?
You never got past me once.
Guys, move on. Move on.
That's as good a time as any to take a break. That's just about it for part 1. In part 2, we'll look ahead to the visit of Tottenham Hotspur to Goodison Park at the weekend. We'll hear from Louis Saha, Morgan Schneidlin, and we'll have a little bit of fun with the under-23s. Welcome back to part 2 of this week's Everton Show. We're going to start to look ahead now to the weekend visit of Tottenham Hotspur to Goodison Park. Sharpie, another tough fixture. Yeah,
a big game again against a really good team, but one I think we can win. Listen, you can go through their team and talk about the Kanes and the Allies of this world, but listen, we can give them problems as well. But as a player, these are the games you want to play in. I think we talked about it before about being a tough start for us this year, but you know, as players, you want to play the big teams early in the season. Probably the best time to play some of them. Tottenham at the moment have started not great, you know. So I think this is an ideal opportunity to play them at the right time.
Tottenham have been there or thereabouts for the last couple of seasons, but it'll be tough this year because basically every other week they're playing at a neutral venue. There's no home advantage at Wembley, not yet.
No, there isn't, and they've struggled in Europe when they've had to play in Europe at Wembley as well. But I recall the last 2 times they've come here to Goodison, Daz, I thought they've been the best side that visited Goodison. I really do. I think they're attacking, they're adventurous, they've got some good players, as Sharp has already mentioned, but we're at Goodison, we're at home. We've got to create chances and give them problems.
Our home form in the calendar year 2017, 11 games played, we've won 10 of them. That's terrific.
Well, it is, and you know, we should be full of confidence going into the game on Saturday. You know, listen, they've lost a couple of players. I think the boy Kyle Walker's a big loss for them, and hopefully we can exploit that. But it'll be a good game to watch.
Well, one player who played for both Everton and Tottenham was the former centre-forward Louis Saha, who now lives in Caen in France. I caught up with him earlier this week, and unsurprisingly, Louis reckons that the main danger from Tottenham will come from Harry Kane.
You see someone who just like has got immense talent, immense strength, immense confidence, and yes, definitely is going to be the main threat for Everton. You know, when you have that kind of players, it's all about how to play to the best and make sure that you contain as much opportunities.
And I suppose this season here at Everton, Louis, we've got to share the goals around a bit, having lost Romelu Lukaku in the summer.
Exactly. I think the strength of that team is really balanced. You have a clever player in the name of Waza. He's now retired from international football, so he will have like more legs. So I'm sure that the goals will come in a regular basis because they are very dangerous.
Wayne Rooney, I would suspect, Louis, that he's one of the best players you've ever played alongside.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that. It's definitely the most complete player and the easiest one to adapt with because, as I said, he's very clever and at the same time he makes you look good. It's someone I really like as a man as well. So he make it very easy to play around. So yes, he's a great addition.
Okay, finally, Louis, let me just put you on the spot. You played for both Everton and Tottenham Hotspur. Where do your loyalties lie on Saturday?
Yes, I will be Everton corner because I think I play longer and I've got a lot more memories in front for Everton. Even I respect so much the Tottenham adventure, yes, my heart is a bit more at Everton.
Sharp, it was great to catch up with Louis Saha, who did a terrific job for Everton Football Club and now resides in the south of France.
I'm a little bit jealous here, Daz. What a beautiful place to live. But no, he was excellent for us. You know, listen, he had his fair share of injuries, but you know, when you had him fully fit, he had everything you wanted to have in a striker. You know, good touch, good in the air, could hold the ball up well, and more importantly, could score goals.
I'm sure Sharpie, all Evertonians will say, and probably other fans of other clubs that he's played for as well, we didn't see enough of Louis Saha, because you're right, he did have everything.
He did, Snods, and listen, people look up and said he was a bit injury prone and he didn't play unless he was 100% fit. Listen, he knew his own body, but I think when you go to the supporters of those other clubs, I look at United and how successful he was there. You could see he was a top drawer player. Just unfortunately, he had those injuries and didn't see enough of them. But I always think that when he was at Everton, he was the best there'd been for a long time. He had everything you want, and he was quick as well. So he had all the attributes you wanted to be a top class, centre forward, a top class striker in the modern game, and his record proves that. And
he scored probably the most unbelievable goal 25 seconds into an FA Cup final.
Just unfortunately we didn't go on and win it, but again, look at the big games he's played in, Dan. He's played in big games throughout his career at international level as well. So yeah, he was a real top player for Everton and had a very successful career.
You're a nice guy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, and as I said, he's living the life of Riley now, staying in Cannes and the sunshine there. So no.
So are you. On the golf course every week.
We haven't got the weather we have in Cannes, have we?
This is another argument that will just roll. So let's have another piece of video for you. Well, during the summer, the under-23s went to La Manga for a pre-season training camp. The Everton Show cameras went along with the young boys, and we filmed a series of challenges, which we'll bring you regularly here on the Everton Show. This week, we've got a penalty shootout with a tennis ball.
It's the Everton Under-23 Tennis Ball Challenge.
Well, the man with the tennis bat over in La Manga was Andy Furman, the under-23's goalkeeping coach. It's a fairly new aspect of football, given the grand scheme of things, Sharpie. Did Big Nev have any?
He did early on, Dan. I think Howard Kendall, because of his tie-up with Stoke, got Gordon Banks up on a couple of occasions. And, for a goalkeeper, what a pleasure that is to be coached by somebody like Gordon Banks. So he came up and done a few coaching sessions with Nev, and I think obviously that would benefit Neville. And then after that, there was Jim Barron, who came in for a long stretch. But certainly in the early days, I remember Gordon Banks coming up, once, maybe twice a week, and taking the goalkeepers and putting them through their paces. So it certainly didn't do Nev any harm, did it?
Tough job to coach Neville Southall.
I wouldn't even attempt to coach him. He's always got his opinion anyway. But I know in the latter years he didn't need anybody coaching. He was that good himself.
Well, let's hear now from Morgan Schneiderlin. Everton have made 9 new signings during the summer, but our French international midfielder is confident that each and every one of them will settle in quickly.
I think when you have good players, the understanding won't take too much time. Of course, Gylfi, for example, I played against him since I don't know how many years, so I know his quality, I know where he likes to get the ball and everything. Of course, I'm gonna learn a lot more about him because of the training session we're gonna spend together and everything. But him or the other players, we're gonna do our best. We're gonna find a way to make it work as quick as possible, and it's the team that we're gonna have for the next few months until January. So everyone gonna have a part of it, and hopefully we're gonna gel together and have some good performance.
Gylfi's first Goodison game this weekend against one of his former clubs as well. He'll be very keen to make an impression, won't he?
Yeah, of course he will be keen to make an impression, and he's a type of player that you need in the team. Who can create, who can score goals out of nowhere like he did in Croatia last time. and you know he's level-headed. You know, he knows that of course he comes with a big price tag, but I don't think he will phase him or anything. He will have good performance, and I'm sure he look for the game.
Well, Gylfi Sigurdsson will make his home debut at the weekend sharply, but he's already made quite an impression on the Evertonians, that's for sure.
Yeah, he certainly has. A wonder goal in European competition, so I think the majority of Evertonians will be looking forward to seeing him, if not all the Evertonians. But it'll be a tough one for him. I disagree a little bit with Morgan there. I still think it takes some time to settle and get to know his teammates. But listen, we've seen him in the season gone by that he's a quality footballer, so it won't be long before he puts in the performances that we expect. And
his set pieces, as usual, will be vital. And it's important that if Sigurdsson can create the chances, we've got to take them.
Yeah, and I'm sure Pochettino will be saying to his players, don't give any free kicks away around the 18-yard box or 25 yards out, because they know that Sigurdsson's got that quality. He scored 2 for his country in midweek as well, so he'll be full of confidence and he'll be wanting to get on the ball.
A free kick specialist is such a potent weapon, isn't it?
Well, it is, Dan. It's not just Sigurdsson as well. You know, the quality of Wayne Rooney in there as well. He can take a free kick, so, and Baines is in there as well. So we're quite well off in terms of people from dead ball situations. But listen, over the last couple of seasons, Sigurdsson has been a big plus for Swansea. Some people say that his goals probably kept him in the Premier League. So we're looking forward to see more here in the blue shirt of Everton.
Very quickly, you're confident?
I am. I think we're at home. We've got a good home record, and long may it continue.
Let's hope so. My thanks to Graham Sharp and to Ian Snowden for joining us this week. Do join us again in 7 days' time for another Everton show.